to another episode of the Polygon Pilgrimage, and today we're going over the drone mood board and sort of a little bit of the concept as well. So to start off here, what I did was I took all of my pieces and I wanted to create an interesting shape. So I took the algorithmic logo here and I designed a ship roughly around the shape of it. As you can see here, I do a rough outline, not really paying too exacting attention to it, but I did want to invoke the idea of it if someone were paying close enough attention to see that. And then here I just do a quick instantiation of two halves of the front of the ship, try to get an idea of the shape and design of the wings, and then I added a few extra things so that it's not an exact replica. So the same process here as with the larger ship. We're just going to go through and take all of the bits and pieces that we like, cut out those areas, move them onto the main graph here, and just sort of get everything kind of figured out as to where we want it to be. Figure out there we have some underneath pieces, some over the top pieces, just trying to figure out where things are going to go and get a general idea for the aesthetic of the ship. Now towards the end here, what we do is we actually build up off to the side. We take all of these different elements and we just stack them on top of each other. We do a little bit of squash and stretch, a little bit of transformation to them, and stack them in a way. We do some masking, make sure that it looks roughly the way we want it to look when we're all done. And then a few lines at the end in order to line it up and make sure we have a bit of a profile guide for modeling so that we can line those things up and make sure all the seams connect. So essentially here, it's the same process as with the ship. As I said, it's nothing too fancy. You guys can definitely do this. Just play with your imagination here and move things around. Don't be afraid to make multiple duplicates. So what I do is whenever I take an object and I want to try something out, I'll make two duplicates of it and I'll alter one and then just kind of save the other. And if I don't like the alteration, I can just delete it and I still have my original. So Photoshop is great for that kind of thing. As I mentioned, here comes the masking. We're just going to mask some things out, move them around, and that way I can change a shape pretty drastically. But then with the masking, I could always just undo it if I need the original shape again. So feel free to use your tools to the best advantage. Reuse things. Don't be afraid to experiment. That's what it's all about. We're trying to find the look here. So we experiment with things. Here's a piece coming up here. I liked it initially, but then when I looked at it, it had too much of a horned beak to it, and I didn't like that. So I said, you know what? Let's move it into place, and I'm just going to get rid of the front part of it. And you know what? I ended up with a more interesting kind of lip there that I wouldn't have had originally. So it all works out in the end, guys. Just make sure you take your time with it. This is about 45 minutes worth, all sped up. So definitely take your time. Make sure that you're giving yourself the best foot forward as you can. And as always, keep practicing, get better, and I'll see you next time as the pilgrimage continues.